Oh, he's here. There he is.
Yeah, how are you?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Are you in Dallas? Where are you?
I'm in Scottsdale,
Okay.
training at Exos, their Phoenix
Right.
location here.
Right.
Been fun.
Who else is out there with? What other offensive lineman you training with?
I'm with AJ Cornelius out of Oregon.
Right. Right tackle from Rhode
Um,
Island originally.
yeah, Charles Grant, who's a
Right.
William and Mary kid. Cooper Mays, who's Tennessee.
Right.
And then he goes by Tank, but he's from Oregon State, like real long last name.
Oh,
Tack.
Christian Lichtenberg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just call him Tank. So, uh,
He's a big dude.
oh yeah, he's like 6'9" or something.
He was at
Huge
the Shrine
guy.
Bowl. He was at the
Yeah,
Shrine. He actually transferred from Colorado.
right.
Um, is Charles Grant working out? Because I know he wasn't he in a knee brace or something.
Yeah, he had like similar injury to me, where kind of late in the season MCL. So he's been healthy. He's been doing good. Real athletic guy for sure. Um,
Is Cameron Williams out with you guys?
no, might be at a different facility.
All right, all right. No, at least you got nice weather out there, right?
Oh yeah,
Did you you didn't go to the was that golf tournament there? You were in Scottsdale. The golf tournament was in Phoenix.
yeah. I mean, right next door. But no, I did not. Risky business, and I was had a little cold too. So I was like, it's okay. But looks super fun for sure.
Yeah.
But
We're on with Rob. This will be real quick, 20, 25 minutes, nothing hard.
yeah, sounds good. How's it
All right,
going,
man.
Rob?
How's it going, Jackson?
Doing well.
All right. So, just first, you played all 4 years at Sacramento State. In a day and age where, the transfer portal is more and more active, what made you decide to play all 4 years at Sacramento State?
Yeah, I think for me it was a mix of things. Had a really close bond with my offensive line coach. I was lucky enough to have the same coach all 4 years, and really liked playing for him. I think, the way he coached and the scheme we had set me up for success really well. So I didn't want to leave that. And then I think I also took some pride in,
Right, and
finishing my career as a Hornet and kind of having a bookmark end to my career and feeling really good about how, all the accolades I put up there, all the games I'd played, and I feel like I contributed to the organization. So I felt like I kind of wanted to finish it out there. And, at the time I was kind of thinking about it, the NFL stuff was already kind of buzzing a little bit. So, didn't feel like I needed to leave.
hmm And you kind of touched upon it about your knee injury. Obviously, it cut your senior season short.
Yeah.
Were you upset with that? And just how's the knee feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I feel like, over the years, I feel like I tend to play my best ball towards the end of the season for whatever reason. I feel like a part of it is, having good chemistry with your offensive line and really feeling that towards the back half of the season. So I thought I was primed to, have a few good games towards the end, but didn't work out that way. And knee feels good right now. Played the whole Senior Bowl week healthy. So I feel good going into everything else. So
Okay. I think I saw something online that said you told agents that you prefer to make the move to center in the NFL. Is that true? And if a team were to, shuffle you around anywhere on the offensive line, how would you embrace taking that on?
yeah, I'm good with, wherever teams see me. I think, kind of just from what I heard, the consensus is moving me to center, and that's where I might have a, better career. And I think, personally, my highest potential as a football player is probably at center. But after the Senior Bowl week, I think, feel really confident being a swing guard and hopefully developing that center along the way. And I just feel like that's where my best ball is going to be at, but I'm really open wherever a team sees me. So
Big Sky Conference has been pretty competitive. Although at Sac State you play a mixed bag, sort of Big Sky Conference schedule, and a lot of teams from the Mountain West, a lot which are going to be absorbed into the Pac-12. Who was the toughest player that you faced the past 2 seasons?
Sorry, who was the toughest player you asked?
Yes, that you faced the past 2 seasons.
Um, Off the top of my head, I think Fresno State and San Jose State had some solid D linemen this past year. There's a lot of good edge rushers along the Big Sky, I would say. Brody Greavy's a Montana State guy that, I didn't necessarily go against, but, good player. There's this kid named Logan George from Idaho State who's now at Ohio State, who was a good player this past year too. So I wouldn't really say there's like one name that totally jumps out at me, but I feel like there's a lot of quality among the Big Sky and Mountain West teams, that I've faced, and I feel like it's been really consistent over the years for sure. So,
Did you face Elijah Ponder of Cal Poly at all?
well, I mean, I was injured for a Cal Poly game this past year, and then, also playing guard. He was more of a rush
Right.
type player for them, so didn't necessarily face him a ton, but he was definitely a guy we would game plan for sure.
Did you face David Rowe of Idaho State at all? Because that's a guy that some people in the scouting community like.
Yeah, we played him this past year. Again, not a ton of like one-on-one stuff. Idaho State ran more like a 3-3 against us, so he was more of a head up nose type of guy. But definitely another great player in the Big Sky for sure.
Is there a certain lineman that you kind of model your game after, or are there certain linemen that you look at tape and try to, look for ways to get better from?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few guys. I definitely gravitate more towards like the, 6'3" interior guys that, might have similar playing styles to me. So, Quinn Minor is Jason Kelsey, a couple names that come to mind, but I'd say the guy that I've watched the most film of probably was Mason McCormick. Fourth round guy last year, and going into my senior season, we've played a lot of teams that have also played South Dakota State, so we had a ton of film on them. So I watched all the games we had of South Dakota State, just watching him and seeing if there was anything really special or anything I could maybe translate to my game. Because obviously, he had a successful draft process and, had a good year with the Steelers. So that's a guy I look up to and, a guy I try to play like for sure.
Okay. What did it mean to be the first offensive lineman in school history to be named All Big Sky, first All American 3 times?
Yeah, I mean, super cool. You always want to get the accolades. It's a really cool part of the process, getting some recognition when the season's over. But I think a lot of, the traction that I've had throughout my college career has really come from team success. We didn't have a ton of it last year, but in my first 3 years playing, we won 2 Big Sky championships, had 3 playoff berths. So I think a lot of the individual stuff also comes from being on a part of a good team, I would say. So I think I try not to put a ton of weight in the accolades as well. For me, it's always been a put the best tape out there that you can type of game. That was always my motivation. And usually good stuff follows from that. And you see guys year in and year out who get all conference or all American, and they're not doing anything at the professional level. So I think for me it was always put up the best tape I can, and if people recognize that, then that's good too. So
Mhm. You were one of 5 players from the FCS level out of 137 players to appear in the Senior Bowl. What did it mean to be one of those 5 players to represent the FCS?
yeah, super cool. Just making it to the Senior Bowl was a goal that I've had throughout my college career, is seeing a ton of FCS guys go to that game and do well. Cole Strange, Trevor Penning, those type of names, Braxton Jones. The list goes on. There's always a few guys every year that get the call from Jim Nagy to go to the Senior Bowl, and was a super cool opportunity for me. And I think especially for the small school guys, being able to do it at the highest level, and really show they belong, I think, helps, everyone else's outlook on, the draft, profile or whatever you want to call it. And then I think it also helps, at least for me, it helped my confidence as a player, just knowing that I belong with that group. And, it's among, the best college players in the nation. And just, when the week was over, when the game was over, and really feeling like I belong in that group, I think just helped my personal confidence too. So.
One guy you left out, but you did mention who had a great Senior Bowl from a small school perspective was Quinn Minor, which
Oh
was
yeah.
2021, the almost COVID year, if you will. And then
Yeah.
you mentioned Mason McCormick, who was outstanding at the Shrine Bowl last year.
Right.
Now, you were initially on the Shrine Bowl roster before you got the call to go up to the Senior Bowl. Was that a difficult decision for you, or it was like, yeah, I'm on my way to Mobile?
Yeah, I mean, Shrine Bowl's a great opportunity, but I think if it worked out that way and I was a Shrine Bowl guy, I would have been totally happy with it. And I think it's a great game. But for me, just over the years of watching college football and seeing the small school guys in the Senior Bowl on, I think it was like the North and South teams at one point, and then it was American and National or whatever. And I kind of always envisioned that for myself. So for me personally, it wasn't a super tough decision, but all thanks goes to Eric Galco, who, threw me that Shrine Bowl invite really early. And knowing that I had an opportunity to play in an all-star game after the season, was really helpful. So, thank you to him, but I kind of always saw myself as a Senior Bowl guy.
Now, you were on the American team, and the American team had some outstanding defensive tackles on their roster. I'm going to mention three, and I want you to tell me if you faced off against them and what they were like. The first one would be Deion Walker of Kentucky,
Didn't face him during the week.
Walter Nolan of Mississippi,
Yeah, we had some, quite a few one-on-one reps. Just a powerful guy, shaky guy. I think we had some good battles out there. He's a guy that's probably a first round guy, so having the chance to go against him and kind of see where I stack up and, maybe what I need to focus on moving forward was, really cool. So yeah,
TJ Sanders of South Carolina.
I don't think I went against him.
One of the things about the Senior Bowl that has really brought it to the forefront of the scouting community is they've changed the entire interview process, and a lot of the interviews at the Senior Bowl mimic what goes on at the combine. So my question to you is, what was the most interesting interview you had at the Senior Bowl? Was there any interview that you had you're like, wow, that was off the beaten path? I don't know where that question came from because that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you always hear stories, but, I didn't really get anything too crazy. Just a lot of copy paste stuff. A lot of the interviews felt pretty similar. A few teams had me drop, my favorite play or, hey, what would you do on 3rd and 4 or something? So, had to drop some stuff, felt confident there, but, wasn't really anything too crazy.
Did any of the teams bring you back to specific plays in college, without the film? Say, do you remember this play and what happened?
I think one team brought up the film, but wasn't really trying to interrogate me on it. Was more having me, explain what the play was and what people's assignments were. But no one really, got on me for anything. So
Is it true that Seattle, out of all the 32 teams, they were the only team to call you back again twice? And what were those conversations like?
yeah, so I mean, everyone does like a speed dating sort of style interview with every 32 team. And then, yeah, so there was opportunity for teams to, call players back. And yeah, Seattle was the only one. The first one was, just again, kind of like the speed dating, where you're from, what's your family life like, stuff like that. And then the next interview that they just had me drop, my favorite run and, a protection from the Sac State offense and have me explain it. That's stuff I feel pretty confident in. So I think it went well.
Just how excited are you with the draft being just 2 months away?
Yeah, super cool. I try not to look too far ahead. I really am trying to take everything day by day. So, combine's the next thing I'm looking forward to and preparing for that. And then, after the combine, figuring out, what my training regiment's going to look like, where am I going to get my food from? Because I think, the plan would be for me to go back to school, and hang out there because that's one of the only places teams can visit you is your hometown or where you played ball at. So for me, it's honestly focusing on how am I going to get better in between the combine and the draft. But knowing it's coming up and hopefully finding a home, I'm excited for sure.
Would you say there's a little bit more pressure with, I don't know, maybe workouts amplifying and just kind of having to hone in on, the next 2 months before being drafted? Would you say there's a little more pressure?
Yeah, I mean, everything's ramping up, especially before the combine. Kind of felt the same pressure leading up to the Senior Bowl is, you want to be the best prepared that you can be for these big events. So I think, it probably is building a little bit, but, I feel like you can also only be so prepared for stuff. We've done, our 40-yard dash stance a billion times. We've practice the 10-yard start a billion times. So it's like, I think, at some point you kind of have to find confidence in your preparation and, just go execute. So,
Now you said you're working out in Scottsdale, Arizona. You told us before we started the interview. What has been the toughest aspect or the toughest drill as far as the training is concerned? Has it been wow the three cone was more difficult than I thought. The shuttle, the start in the 40, the vertical jump. What has been something that you're like, wow, that's a hell of a lot more difficult than I originally thought?
yeah, I think, there's a lot of different body positions you get into, definitely the stance you get into for the 40-yard dash is something that, I think took a little bit to get used to. And, even now every day, you're gonna find something new that you might like better or part of it you don't like. So I feel like it's kind of a always changing aspect of it. And so I think that one was kind of, tough from the start. And then another thing would be just like staying as consistent with my diet as I can be. They make it really easy. They give us, 3 meals a day, which is great. And, they make it really easy, but still like actually eating the food and, hydrating and all that little stuff that like sounds easy, might not be so easy all the time. So, I'd say that's another aspect that might have been a little tough. So.
Is there any one test at the combine, bench, vertical, broad, where you're really excited to participate in because you're going to think you believe you'll open some eyebrows and just blow the competition away?
Yeah, honestly, I'm excited for all of them. I think, I made a ton of progress here. And I feel really confident about my numbers going into it. Bench press is something I'm excited for sure. Just kind of show a little feat of strength. I think I'm gonna put up some good numbers there. 40 I think is gonna go well. Shuttle's gonna go well. I think I'm gonna jump well. So I think overall I'm set to have a solid combine, but at the end of the day, it's still going out there and actually doing it. But I feel confident going into it for sure. So
When is Sacramento State Pro Day?
it's not till like March 31st. So got a little bit of time after the combine till that comes up. But hopefully I like all my times at the combine and kind of take care of that stuff there. So.
Any chance you get into another pro day, a Fresno State pro day, a Cal pro day, or that's not a consideration?
Yeah, I mean, my agents haven't reached out about anything like that so far. I think the main thing is kind of just taking care of the stuff at the combine. And from what I've heard, it sounds like we're going to get a good turnout at the Sac State Pro Day too. We do a joint one with UC Davis, and they have a couple guys, Land
Yep.
Larison, the running back there. I think he could turn some heads. So sounds like we're gonna get a pretty good turnout there. So right now I'm not really looking to get in a different one. So
Yeah, you also have to get league approval, and then the school,
okay,
Fresno State or whatever, has got to say, yeah, he can work out. So sometimes it's if you get all those guys, especially the offensive coaches showing up, because I know Sac State's also got two receivers that we spoke about in the Senior
sure,
Bowl.
yeah,
Man, it's worth it for you just to stick where you're at.
yeah.
Just what goals do you have during your rookie season, and just how do you plan on becoming the best version of yourself now until your first snap or just the first game of your rookie season?
Yeah, I think I just want to add value any way I can. So, I think if a team sees me as coming in, developing, maybe turning into a starter, I feel full confidence I can do that. If, they want me to, maybe take a back seat for a while, develop as a center, learn the offense better. Maybe I'm a guy in, 2 or 3 years. I'm okay with that too. I think just kind of finding my place in the NFL is, what kind of what I want to figure out. Um, but how I want to do it, I think, is hopefully buddy up with whoever the vet is there. Usually there's guys that are there for 8, 10, 12 years that have been doing it for a long time, and I think I'm just eager to learn and figure out what the right way to go about stuff is. And I think once I figure that out, I'll be good. So.
Outside of football, what are some things that consume your time? What are some hobbies you have? I think I saw something online that said that you're a big football card collector. Is that true? And
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Football cards I'm into. Trying to take a break right now because it can be kind of an expensive hobby sometimes. I like to build Legos. I built one here in Scottsdale, a Star Wars Lego. I've been doing them for, since I was a little kid, and now I do like the adult sets or whatever, but keeps me out of trouble. And then kind of a nerdy guy into like Star Wars and Marvel and DC and that type of stuff. So kind of just a nerd outside of football, I would say.
okay, awesome.
That's it, Jackson.
All
Thanks for
right.
your time. Said be easy in, easy out. Hopefully, I'll be able to hook up with you and Kenny at the combine. I will be there through Sunday, so
Cool.
I know you'll be
Yeah.
in the second group on Sunday. You'll be the last guy, one of the last guys to perform.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. So good luck, man. Good luck moving
Yeah.
forward. Stay healthy and knock it out of the park in Indianapolis.
Yeah. That's the plan. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll speak soon.
All righty. See you guys.
Good luck.
All right.
All right.